Vice President of the United States of America. Kamala Harris. Will you be Kamala Harris, President of the United States of America? Part 4. We continue. On July 21, 2024, incumbent President and presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden suspended his campaign for re-election in 2024 with Harris and endorsed her as the Democratic presidential nominee. Harris also received endorsements from Bill and Hillary Clinton, the Congressional Black Caucus, and many others. If elected, Harris would become the first female and first Asian American president of the United States, and the second African American president after Barack Obama. On July 22, 2024, Harris secured enough non-binding delegates for the presidential nomination. In 2019, the nonpartisan GovTrack rated Harris as the most politically left U.S. senator and the least likely Democratic senator to join bipartisan bills. Harris was described by the New York Times in 2020 as a pragmatic moderate, with policy positions that broadly mirror those of Biden. Left-wing activists have criticized Harris on numerous occasions for her past actions as a prosecutor, which have been called right-wing. In 2005, the National Black Prosecutors Association awarded Harris the Thurgood Marshall Award. That year, she was included in a Newsweek report profiling 20 of America's most powerful women. A 2008 New York Times article also identified her as a woman with potential to become President of the United States, highlighting her reputation as a tough fighter. In 2013, 2020, and 2021, Time included Harris on the Time 100, Time's annual list of the 100 most influential people in the world. In 2016, the 20/20 Bipartisan Justice Center awarded Harris the Bipartisan Justice Award along with Senator Tim Scott. Biden and Harris were jointly named Time Person of the Year for 2020. Harris was selected for the inaugural 2021 Forbes 50 Over 50, which is a list of entrepreneurs, leaders, scientists, and creators who are over the age of 50. On May 15, 2015, Harris received a Doctor of Laws from the University of Southern California. On May 13, 2017, she received a Doctor of Humane Letters from Howard University, where she gave a commencement address. In the 1990s, Harris dated Speaker of the California Assembly Willie Brown. In 2001, Harris had a brief dating relationship with talk show host Montel Williams. Harris met her future husband, attorney Doug Emhoff, through a mutual friend who set up Harris and Emhoff on a blind date in 2013. Emhoff, who was born in a Jewish family, was an entertainment lawyer who became partner in charge at Venable LLP's Los Angeles office. Harris and Emhoff were married on August 22, 2014, in Santa Barbara, California. Harris is stepmother to Emhoff's two children, Cole and Ella, from his previous marriage to the film producer Kirsten Emhoff. As of August 2019, Harris and her husband had an estimated net worth of $5.8 million. Harris is a Baptist, holding membership of the Third Baptist Church of San Francisco, a congregation of the American Baptist Churches USA. She is a member of the Links, an invitation-only social and service organization of prominent Black American women. Harris's sister, Maya, is a lawyer and MSNBC political analyst. Her brother-in-law, Tony West, is general counsel of Uber and a former United States Department of Justice senior official. Her niece, Mina, is the founder of the Phenomenal Women Action Campaign and former head of strategy and leadership at Uber. In 2017, she was sworn into the United States Senate where she championed legislation to fight hunger, provide rent relief, improve maternal health care, expand access to capital for small businesses, revitalize America's infrastructure, and combat the climate crisis. She questioned 2 Supreme Court nominees while serving on the Judiciary Committee. She also worked to keep the American people safe from foreign threats and crafted bipartisan legislation to assist in securing American elections while serving on the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. In 2010, Vice President Harris was elected Attorney General of California, where she oversaw the largest state justice department in the country. She took on those who were preying on the American people, winning a $20 billion settlement for Californians whose homes had been foreclosed on and a $1.1 billion settlement for students and veterans who were taken advantage of by a for-profit education company. She also defended the Affordable Care Act in court and enforced environmental laws. In 2004, Vice President Harris was elected District Attorney of San Francisco, where she was a national leader in the movement for LGBTQ+ rights, officiating the first same-sex wedding after Proposition 8 was overturned. She also established the office's Environmental Justice Unit and created a groundbreaking program to provide first-time drug offenders with the opportunity to earn a high school degree and find employment, which the U.S. Department of Justice designated as a national model of innovation for law enforcement. And years earlier, in 1990, she joined the Alameda County District Attorney's Office, where she specialized in prosecuting child sexual assault cases. Vice President Harris was born in Oakland, California. As the daughter of immigrants, she grew up surrounded by a diverse community and a loving extended family. She and her sister, Maya, were inspired by their mother, Shyamala Gopalan, a breast cancer scientist and pioneer in her own right who came to the United States from India at the age of 19 and then received her doctorate the same year that Kamala was born. Harris's father, who was Jamaican, taught at Stanford University, and her mother, the daughter of an Indian diplomat, was a cancer researcher. While growing up, Harris maintained close contact with her Indian family and frequently traveled with her mother and sister to Chennai, the capital of the South Indian state of Tamil Nadu. Her younger sister, Maya, eventually became a public policy advocate. After studying political science and economics at Howard University, Harris earned a law degree from Hastings College. In 2012, Harris delivered a memorable address at the Democratic National Convention, raising her national profile. 2 years later, she married attorney Douglas Emhoff. Widely considered a rising star within the party, she was recruited to run for the U.S. Senate seat held by Barbara Boxer, who was retiring. In early 2015, Harris declared her candidacy, and on the campaign trail she called for immigration and criminal justice reform, an increase in the minimum wage, and protection of women's reproductive rights. She easily won the 2016 election. When she took office in January 2017, Harris became the first Indian American and only the second Black American woman in the Senate. She began serving on both the Select Committee on Intelligence and the Judiciary Committee, among other assignments. She became known for her prosecutorial style of addressing witnesses during hearings, which provoked criticism and occasional interruptions from Republican senators. In June, she drew particular attention for her questioning of U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions, who was testifying before the Intelligence Committee on alleged Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. She had earlier called on him to resign. Harris's memoir, The Truths We Hold: An American Journey, was published in January 2019. Shortly thereafter, Harris announced that she was seeking the Democratic presidential nomination in 2020. From the outset, she was seen as one of the leading contenders, and she drew particular attention when, during a primary debate, she had a contentious exchange with fellow candidate Joe Biden over his opposition to school busing in the 1970s and 80 seconds, among other race-related topics. Although Harris's support initially increased, by September 2019 her campaign was in serious trouble, and in December she dropped out of the race. She continued to maintain a high profile, notably becoming a leading advocate for social justice reform following the May 2020 death of George Floyd, an African American who had been in police custody. Her efforts silenced some who had criticized her tenure as Attorney General, alleging that she had failed to investigate charges of police misconduct, including questionable shootings. Others, however, felt that her embrace of reform was a political maneuver to capitalize on increasing public support for social change. As racial injustice became a major issue in the United States, many Democrats called on Biden, the party's presumptive nominee, to select an African American woman, a demographic that was seen as pivotal to his election chances, as his vice presidential running mate. In August, Biden chose Harris, and she thus became the first Black woman to appear on a major party's national ticket. In November, she became the first Black woman to be elected Vice President of the United States. In the ensuing weeks, Trump and various other Republicans challenged the election results, claiming voter fraud. Although a number of lawsuits were filed, no evidence was provided to support the allegations, and the vast majority of the cases were dismissed. During this time, Harris and Biden began the transition to a new administration, announcing an agenda and selecting staff. By early December, all states had certified the election results, and the process then moved to Congress for final certification. Amid Trump's repeated calls for Republicans to overturn the election, a group of Congress members, notably including Senators Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz, announced that they would challenge the electors of various states. Shortly after the proceedings began on January 6, 2021, a mob of Trump supporters stormed the Capitol. It took several hours to secure the building, but Biden and Harris were eventually certified as the winners. She later denounced the siege, which many believed was incited by Trump, as an assault on America's democracy. On January 18, she officially resigned from the Senate. 2 days later, amid an incredible security presence, Harris was sworn in as vice president. As Biden's vice president, Harris was tasked with addressing the root causes of increased migration from Latin America to the U.S. southern border, promoting national legislation to protect voting rights, and preserving women's access to abortion. which was significantly limited in many states following the 2022 Supreme Court ruling in Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization. Harris became a vocal and effective advocate for the right to complete reproductive health care, including abortion. She continued that theme as part of Biden's 2024 campaign, in which she frequently warned that re-electing Trump would further limit access to abortion care. As president of the Senate, Harris cast the most tie-breaking votes in history, shattering a nearly 200-year-old record. When Biden dropped out of the 2024 race and announced his support for Harris, she responded by saying, "I stop at this point today. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring the world's incredible stories." Thank you for watching. I hope I added something to you.